It's been a month since Nolan Wells died. Two separate autopsies are now complete. And right now, today, cause of death is still officially undetermined. Nobody, not even investigators, has been able to say for certain how he died. This week, on top of that, something new turned up. A hole in the timeline that nobody's explained yet. So whether you've been following this from the start, or you're just finding it now, stay with me. This is exactly where the case stands. And it just got more complicated, not less. Quick catch-up if you're new here. Nolan Wells was 18, a wide receiver heading into his sophomore season at Southwest Mississippi Community College. On July 4th, he went out on a boat with a group of friends to Horn Island, a barrier island off the Mississippi coast you can only reach by private boat. No cell service out there. No lifeguards. At some point that afternoon, the group headed back to the mainland without him. The story was that he chose to stay behind. His own parents have never accepted that. 2 days later, a park ranger found his body, almost exactly where he was last seen. Okay, here's everything that's happened since. The family paid for their own autopsy. They flew Nolan's body to Washington, D.C., so the doctor examining him would have zero ties to Mississippi law enforcement. Ben Crump announced the results in front of the NAPEEP's National Convention in Chicago, which tells you how far beyond Mississippi this story has already traveled. And the result was undetermined. Cause and manner of death undetermined, pending more investigation. The doctor who performed the exam said, directly, he cannot rule out foul play. Now here's the detail I can't stop thinking about. When Nolan's body arrived for that second autopsy, part of his throat was missing. It had already been taken during the first exam, which, to be fair, isn't unheard of in cases like this. But it meant the independent doctor couldn't examine that area himself. He's since formally requested access to it, specifically, so he can go back and look for himself. 2 doctors, 2 separate examinations, and the one piece of tissue that might matter most wasn't there for the second one. Then, just last week, the official state autopsy came back too. And here's where it gets genuinely frustrating. If you just want a straight answer, those results are not being released to the public, not to reporters, not to anyone outside the investigation. Instead, everything goes straight into a sealed file for a grand jury. Prosecutors say that's not unusual. They say nearly every death in the county that isn't obviously from natural causes gets the same treatment. That's probably true. It's also true that it means real answers are still a ways off. And now, the part that's brand new. Like the last 48 hours new, completely separate from either autopsy. An independent review went back through everything. Photos, video, GPS data, witness statements, trying to build an actual minute-by-minute timeline of that day. And they found a gap, a stretch of time, between the last moment anyone can independently confirm where Nolan was, and when the boat that brought him to the island reportedly left. That isn't accounted for by anything on record. I want to be careful here, because this part matters. The people behind that review are explicit. They are not accusing anyone of a crime. They're not naming names. What they're saying, in plain terms, is this. There's a piece of this timeline that doesn't add up yet, and somebody needs to account for it. That's the entire finding. No more place, no less. But it's the first time anyone independent has put an actual shape to what's missing. A few more things are happening in parallel, fast. Lawyers on both sides are reportedly already preparing for the possibility this becomes a civil case. Mississippi officials had to publicly warn people that fake documents claiming to be from this investigation are circulating online, which tells you exactly how much attention this case is pulling. Crump's team says they now have forensic audio specialists re-examining the original emergency call to the towing company, and separately, ocean engineering experts trying to work out exactly how Nolan's body ended up where it did. And then there's the one I genuinely didn't see coming. A man in California was arrested over alleged online threats aimed at a judge connected to the case. I don't have more detail than that yet, but it's one more sign of how far outside Mississippi this story has spread. So where does that actually leave us? Officially, nothing's changed. Investigators still haven't said they've found clear evidence of a crime. The original theory that this was a tragic accident hasn't been withdrawn by anyone in law enforcement. Shoo! But you now have 2 completed autopsies that still can't answer the most basic question. A timeline with a documented hole in it and a grand jury review that doesn't even have a scheduled date yet. Everything, still, comes back to one detail his own parents refused to accept: that Nolan chose to stay behind. If that's wrong, the whole story we were first told starts from a false premise. A month later, nobody outside that investigation knows which one it is. What do you think that timeline gap actually means? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.